So we ask that you don't just watch, engage with us. Don't just listen, but learn with us. And don't just sit back. Come take a seat at the table, because we are just getting started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another night broadcast of Results with Rouse, where we continue you all to create a space for conversations that help inform you, keep you engaged, and empower you throughout your community. And tonight, we have a candidate that's here for a conversation, Mr. Padgett, who is seeking to serve you as your next South Carolina House District 103, and that area will be covering a part of Berkeley County, Horry County, and Georgetown County. I would say up front that this platform do not endorse any parties and or candidates. However, we allow all individuals to take a seat at the table so that you can directly inform your constituents of why they should select you in this upcoming primary. So tonight, we want to welcome Mr. Padgett to the broadcast. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Rouse, for having me.
Yes, sir. So you all, we're going to jump right on in here because we want you to be able to have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Padgett. And so if you have any questions, we ask that you please drop them in the comment area. Mr. Padgett, as we begin tonight, I would like for you to tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Wendell Padgett. I'm from a small town in Berkeley County called Schuylerville, right on the outskirts of McClellanville, and right below Mount Stoner, not too far from Andrews. And I'm a 26-year Army veteran, retired, um, married, uh, kids, grandkids, involved in a lot of community services, church organizations, veterans organizations, and worked at the steel mill in Georgetown for numerous years, about 18 years, and been retired probably for about 11 years now from the Army.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I heard you mention the steel mill and also being a veteran. So I do want to thank you up front for your service that you've given for many years out there on the battlefield, as we still recognize the hard work that many veterans has done throughout our nation, but yet right here in our state. So thank you again for your service. I want to ask, move along to, you're running for House Seat 103. What just even inspired you, as you've been a veteran working at the steel mill? What inspired you to seek running for House Seat 103?
Well, what really inspired me probably goes back, I don't know, when I was a teenager, early 20s. My grandfather, he had a passion for serving, not so much politics. He was a county constable in the community, and he definitely helped people, of course. And you know, my family have a long history of small businesses, charter bus service, mom and pop type store, gas station in Schuylerville, and he was passionate about voting, democracy itself. And that's where I picked that up from my grandfather, of course. Yes, so it's something that has been in me for many years, and now that I'm retired and got the time to live this passion and dream out, I'm on the trail to do just that and to serve the people as a servant.
Thank you for that. You all, again, if you're just tuning in, we're taking a seat at the table with Mr. Padgett tonight, who is seeking the House seat for District 103. That area covers the counties of Horry County, Georgetown County, and Berkeley County. Mr. Padgett, if you would, why do you believe right now is the right time for your leadership?
Well, right now is the right time because, I've been mentored probably for the last 25, 30 years and kind of shadowed a very well-known representative from this district. He had this district years ago, Mr. Representative Joe Jefferson, the Honorable Dr. Joe Jefferson. And so I've seen what he's done. He was a real good mentor to me throughout the Berkeley County area, and taught me a lot about community serving and the passion of giving back to the communities and listening to the constituents needs and their concerns. And I feel like it's time for change. Of course, so, our current representative, I think he's been in this seat at least somewhere between 20, 22 years, and we've been having this up and down the district from Horry, Georgetown, down to Berkeley County, that they need a new voice. They need to have a seat at the table who's going to bring back information to the communities so they can be informed and be engaged on what's going on.
Thank you for that. When you mentioned Mr. Joe Jefferson, are you referring to the 106.1, Mr. Joe Jefferson?
Absolutely. Sound off 106.1 WTUA.
That's what I
Absolutely.
wanted you to say. Sound off, you all. And so when I hear you say that, and just given the many years that Mr. Joe Jefferson has been serving the communities, especially the rural areas, right? Because when you think of St. Stephen's, Awendal, just crossing over to Corsville, Hugie, down into McClellan, that's a lot of rural area, mass area, and it's a lot of coverage. And so just to hear that this is someone that you have been following and have been a mentor to you tells us a lot, because Mr. Joe Jefferson has been meeting and reaching a lot of people. And so we're in hopes that you following his pathway, that you will be able to do the same thing. So that leads me to a question. What separates you from your opponent in this race today?
Well, one thing I think that would separate me, that I'll be accountable. I'll show up for town halls. I'll be there to listen to the constituents' needs. I'll be that voice that they don't have currently. For whatever reason. I have the time available to serve, uh, to do this job. Of course.
Okay, so when we talk about public service, what does that mean to you personally?
Public service, personally, to me means just being engaged with the community. Getting out and sharing activities. That may be going on in the community. Of course, and helping out in the time of need. During voting time, early voting, I was very active with that. Educating them on voting and how, not who to vote for, but how to vote. Knowing who's on their ballot. You know, um, who's going to be at the best interest of them, for what we need moving forward in our communities.
Thank you for that. All of you are just tuning in. We're taking a seat at the table with Mr. Padgett. And if you have any questions, we ask that you please put it in the comment area. Mr. Padgett, you mentioned communities. And for some people that are unfamiliar with House Seat 101, can you kind of just give us an overview of that district and the communities in which it serves?
Okay, House District 103, it consists of Berkeley, Georgetown, Horry, pretty much 100% of Georgetown and portions of Berkeley County, Schuylerville, Jamestown, Coatesville, Hugie, Wando, um, uh, a little bit of another small community, Bethera, and it's a little bit of what's that? Bushy Park. It's a lot of little areas. They did the rezoning and redistricting has changed up the whole map.
Yes, sir.
So and then Horry County. I don't know if we got 1,000 votes up in that area. Not that many votes, but
Yes, sir.
and we don't neglect nobody area. We take all areas and all votes serious. So we've been visible in all these areas. Showing up to the different meetings and letting them know what we're doing and our plans to take care of all the districts,
Thank you. Because
or
earlier,
all the communities.
yes, sir. Thank you for that. Because when I was naming them, thinking about them early and named them, I almost said Williamsburg County, but my reference to that is because you kind of tap into that a little bit when you come from Georgetown County, right on the line of Williamsburg, and when you look at Berkeley County, Williamsburg too. But what I love from just researching and seeing the work that you and your campaign team is doing out there, you have hit a lot of areas. And a lot of these are rural areas. So that tells me that you all are definitely making sure that you're showing up, and showing out to the people so that they can understand that you are willing to be a voice to them. And so when I look at that or think about that, my question draws to what are some of the biggest concerns that you are hearing from your constituents across your district?
Well, some of the biggest concerns always going to be roads and bridges. Infrastructure. Dangerous intersections, and of course, um, concerns just having someone that's going to bring back the report,
Yes, sir.
that what's going on in Columbia and what they're entitled to have, when it comes to funding, you know, for whatever budget they need to take care of their communities, to get the resources they need, of course.
Okay.
So that's one of the main concerns. But the biggest concern right now, from what we've been campaigning, people they just want to see the accountability, the responsibility, uh, communication to know what's going on. Someone that they can relate and talk to about their issues and their needs.
Thank you for that. Because I was going to ask you while you was out there, like, what are you feeling that the people feel like they are missing? And you just said it, accountability, and want to make sure that they're having a voice. So to you, Mr. Padgett, June 9th comes, book closes, votes are tallied, the verdict is out that you have been unofficially announced, as they would say, as the House seat representative. What would you ensure every community in District 101 that how would you ensure that their voice will be heard?
Okay, well, the way I'll ensure that is from day one, we're going to hit the ground running just like we're doing right now. And we're going to even hit it running much harder, because we can really take those concerns to Columbia. Now I'll be in the position and have the power to address those concerns, bring it back and share it with the community. District 103 is the second largest district, in South Carolina. So I got a big job, but it's nothing that fears me because I've led soldiers in the military. I did 3 tours of combat, so the work is nothing new to me. I've been doing it for many years. It's just that this is a different platform now.
Hmm.
On the state level instead of a local community level. And I've been well prepared to do it. Once they give me their problems, it's my problem, and I'm looking to solve those problems.
Thank you for that. Viewers, if you have any question for Mr. Padgett, I ask that you please feel free to drop them in the comments area, and we'll try our very best to go throughout tonight and trying to answer and being able to have a chance to discuss those. Moving on, Mr. Padgett, when we think of House Seat 101, we also have to look at, you mentioned infrastructure, and we want to also look on the side of education. So, what are your thoughts on the current state of education in South Carolina?
Well, I've have been involved in some board meetings, school board meetings, and one concern. Well, let's go back to pay. We always can improve on our teachers' pay, custodians' pay, bus drivers' pay. They're never paid enough for the job that they do. Because when they leave that school and go home, that job continues. They got to take care of their family. The teachers got to grade papers. My mother was a school educator for 35 years in the public school, so I've seen that firsthand. What a
Yes, sir.
school teacher is tasked to do, and of course, safety, security. I'd like to see all schools from elementary, middle, right on up to high school level have metal detectors. I don't know that we have metal detectors in every school. We got to keep our kids and our teachers safe as possible.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, when I hear you talk early on about infrastructure and just hearing from your community and making sure pretty much their problem turns into your problem, and you want to ensure that as you go up to Columbia to the state house and advocate for your constituents, that they see that their voices are being heard. And then there's a bridging of the gap because you got the kids that are in education that want to ensure that they have somebody that is representing them as well. And so, how would you bridge the gap to ensure that you're going to allow the people to see that you're truly growing that area?
Well, of course, at the end of the day, you have to reach out and make sure you're getting all the resources, the right materials that they need to be successful, to continue on and further their education at the college level, make sure the grants are available that they need because every student don't get a scholarship. So we
Hmm.
got to make sure all kids are afforded to have a grant so they can continue their education. If not, a lot of kids go to military.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure they're trained and prepared to move on into the real world.
Thank you for that. And it seems like you have truly have had the experience over the years, just giving your family history, and your experiences all in just the collab of the famous Joe Jefferson. So I know if you got him training you up, he is training you on the right path. But
Absolutely.
indeed, just the collaboration, right? And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
when I also just look at the area, mostly yours particularly, because I kind of compare it to Williamsburg County a little bit, which is mass rural areas, right? And so when I think of kids and I think of workforce, how would you ensure that broadband is a priority for these areas?
Yes, that's one of our concerns also with infrastructure. That falls under that category, definitely. Yeah, so as you know, a lot of rulers still don't have the right internet or the compatible internet like some more populated or the city areas. But it's a work in progress. It's getting done. They have a lot of contractors out there working on getting these fiber optic cables ran. I'm familiar with the fiber optic cables. I had a little bit of training with that in the military on my last few years coming out of the military. But it's so high speed, it's incredible, and that would be a big impact and a uh, big deal, for all communities to have that. Not, and not just the kids, but the parents too, so they can help work with their kids on different projects. Once they're at their desktop computers or even laptop computers.
Thank you for that. And again, you all, I would have to say my correction. It is District 103. That's my apology. District 103, Mr. Padgett. I'm putting him in a whole nother one, but he's gonna get it one way or the other. District 103, you all. I want to go on because I love what I'm hearing from you, which leads me to the collaboration with other county officials, agencies within your network. How would you ensure that you are collaborating with other elected officials, a lot as well as agencies, to ensure that they can help support you in bringing some of these resources to your communities?
Yes, so far as collaborating, we're going to negotiate. And I mean, what works for one district may work for the next district, And, we have to network. We have to work together, even reaching on the other side of the aisle, Because when
Yes.
it comes to these issues, I mean, all districts having pretty much the same issues,
Mhm.
So we're going to be cohesive about all that, to make sure we can work things out to the better for all districts, and even my district, I've been talking to some of District 101 and District 102, my neighboring districts, and we've been having some good conversation and engaging some good dialogue that we're gonna be working with up in Columbia when we get there.
Thank you for that. There you go. Speak it when we get there, right? So
Yeah.
in that collaboration, I want to go back a little bit because I know I mentioned about education, but I want to horn more into our youth engagement because sometimes I feel like our youth feel like they're kind of left out, right? So, what role would you ensure like mentorships and youth engagement plays a part in the community development?
Well, I'm in a men's ministry with the AME Church. I'm a AME, African Methodist Episcopal Church. I'm the president over 32 churches in the Mount Pleasant district, and that's our main objective to working with the young men, the youth. Helping to learn how to be young men and be respectable in the community. And we have a scholarship program in place for them that we give out 2 scholarships a year, and you know that's one our main concern, helping the youth, So we've been doing that, and I've been with that ministry for about 24, 25 years. And
Great.
I'm in my third year as the president of that men's ministry, and I have 32 churches up under my leadership.
So you're familiar with Sons of Allen and the Lay organization.
Absolutely. Yes,
It
ma'am.
works with a lot of men. I'm AME as well, so I understand just where you're talking about.
Yes.
But you said something earlier about infrastructure, and this is a question that's coming from one of our viewers here. We talk about roads, we talk about broadband. What is your thoughts on these data centers?
On the data centers,
Yes, sir.
well, data centers are good. I mean, anything that could enhance, we have a situation going on right now in a couple of our communities in Georgetown and in Berkeley, with lighting at intersections, and they're very dangerous, of course, because we don't feel like they have the right type of stoplight there to keep the local residents safe. And one in Georgetown just yesterday, we looked at, it has already had 5 deaths at that particular intersection on 701 in Bucksport area.
Hmm.
And so we've some of these intersections have cameras now to watch 24 hours to see the crime. Well, crime is one of it, so speeding or whatever, and what's actually happened at these lights. So data plays a big role when it comes to that for
Okay.
monitoring.
Thank you for that. You mentioned 701, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to go down to 41, which is an area that I travel a lot. I have family down that way as well. And I have a lot of community members that work down there in that Jamestown area. Just maybe a month or so ago, you all had an accident at that crossroad where a lot of community members came together to speak out on that and the importance on why they feel like some pretty much more things need to happen. Can you tell us again what was your take on that?
Yes, we're out protesting for that particular intersection, 41, 45, and 17. What happened? A motorist was coming from the Moscona direction into Jamestown, and the other driver was coming from Andrews going towards the Mount Pleasant, Kane, or Hugie area. And the truck coming from Moscona just actually ran right through the light. The cameras and the video footage from the town hall in Jamestown picked up the whole accident, and we're out lobbying to get that corrected, before someone else's life get taken there. And also, we're about to do a memorial there for a young lady that got killed in 1999 on October the 7th, Miss Kim Altman. And her husband is really backing us up 100%, Mr. Johnny Altman. So we don't want another.
So, you all, if you are just tuning in, if you have any questions for Mr. Padgett, I ask that you please drop them in the comments area. And as we continue throughout tonight, we will periodically look over in the comments. And if there's questions, we will definitely try our best to make sure we are answering them. However, Mr. Padgett is running for District Seat 103, which covers Berkeley County, Horry County, and Georgetown County. And he was just sharing the importance on ensuring that we talk about community needs, we talk about community growth, and we make sure that we are being a voice for our constituents in those areas. And while talking about that, we were also talking about the recent accident that happened in Jamestown, South Carolina, coming from Mounts Corner onto 41, which is a major highway where a lot of people travel to and from work and or home. And just the importance of the protesting and how actively engaged they are with the community members to ensure that they can not just identify a problem, but also come up with a solution. He also mentioned this a couple of years ago, a tragic accident that happened, and they are going to do a memorial for a family member and how well the one of the family members are supporting them with their efforts. So again, we see that he is well tuned to what's happening in his area, yet he's very engaged with his constituents to ensure that they understand that he is there to hear their voices or their concerns and assure that as he make his way to the state house representing District 103, that he's doing so by what they are mentioning. At this very moment, we do recognize that technology has its way, and right now, we are trying to get him loaded back on because of the area he's currently in. So, if you all could just bear with us for a second. However, if you have any questions, we ask that you please drop them in the comments area. Again, if you have any questions, we ask that you please drop them in the comment area. So today, we had an opportunity, you all, to go down to Columbia, South Carolina. I thoroughly enjoy such positivity that was on the state grounds today as we protest about this current issue that is not just South Carolina, but just across our nation with this redistricting. We understand how critical time is for all of us, and the importance that we all must ensure that we get out and vote. And while most time I would stress voting on election day, I think it's very pivotal that we understand early voting. So I am challenging each of you starting Tuesday that you go out and cast your vote doing early voting. Please, mom, dad, sister, brother, if you got kids, cousins, don't allow them to give you an excuse of it don't matter. We are in a very, very critical time, and every vote matters, and we must turn what they're doing with us or trying to do to us at the polls and ensure that we vote. But while out there, we had an opportunity to hear from different individuals and just talk about the importance of just rallying together, supporting one another. And I just appreciate the organizers of today's event. We look forward to some more statewide initiatives coming up. And we look forward to you all. If you want to engage and be a part of the movement, please reach out, drop me an inbox. We got some other things in the fire that we are working up. So I look forward to having you all. But as we transition a little bit, I kind of wanted tonight to be an opportunity where we just don't hear from the candidate, but I wanted to tune in a little bit and hear from the campaign manager, because while our campaign manager is at the forefront of their candidate, they also see the importance of voting. And so tonight I also have an opportunity to hear from Mr. Green. Are you there, Mr. Green? We're gonna give him a second to get set up there. Are you there? However, I want him just to speak on the importance of voting and why everyone, if you're registered currently, should get out and make sure that you are voting in the June primaries. And again, if you all have any questions, we ask that you please drop them in the comment area. We would love to entertain them and help support you as we make our ways to the ballot box, because we need everybody there. So I'm also urging you this Sunday to get in your churches, um, raise your hand, ask that you speak, or announce the importance of Tuesday. We want to make sure that everyone get to the polls and vote. Identify your precinct areas where your county is having early voting at, and make sure that people are out registered and ready to vote. Um, I would say too, just to the viewers, what are your thoughts on this redistricting? If you would just put that in the comment area. Let's hear from you tonight as well, and get your thoughts on what you think about this. Have you made contact with your representative or someone that you feel comfortable in talking to about these issues? If you would just drop that in the comment area as well. We'd love to hear from you as well. And if you have any encouraging words that you want to offer to just voters out there to ensure that they get out and vote, we need everybody's voice, not just mine, but we need all voices at the table, ensuring that we are encouraging, asking the questions, having the conversation to make sure people know voting's coming up. Don't be confused or distracted about what they're putting on social media, on TVs. Ask the question. We are voting in the upcoming election. We are voting. Understand, we are voting in the upcoming election. So if you have questions, ask. If you're unsure, ask. Please don't go without asking and miss your opportunity to cast your vote. And so we just want to give the Padgett campaign an opportunity to tune back in so we can ensure that he has a chance to continue to tell you a little bit about his platform, any upcoming events. And if time allows, we're going to hear from his campaign manager just on the importance of voting and why you should definitely get out and vote as well. And so want to give them a chance to come back in. If you would just bear with us just a few seconds here. If you would just please bear with us as they come back in. But again, just if you have a thought in regards to redistricting, put it in the comments. Let us hear from you. Come on camera if you want to be tagged in. We'll love to hear from you tonight as well. This is an open dialogue opportunity. We'll love to hear from you if you want to share any encouraging words to our upcoming voters. We ask that you put that out there too. We need air. I say all the time, we need you in the game. I think we've had enough of those individuals playing on the sideline or behind closed doors. We're in a critical time and we need people that is ready to jump in the game. You don't have to know every play, but we need team players that are willing to go out and be boots on the grounds as we prepare for this upcoming election. We definitely need you involved. Definitely need you involved. So we're going to give another minute or two for Mr. Padgett to redirect his connection. We understand in rural areas, sometimes with technology, you have to be patient and bear with it. And we ask that you please do that for us. There's a comment. I think we need to get out and vote like our generation has never done before. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. And we look forward to individuals getting out and vote because we definitely need people to get out and vote. Again, if you have any upcoming events, we ask that you drop them in the comment areas as well. We ask that you comment in the, I'm sorry, put them in the comments area as well, so we can entertain them. But again, you all, tonight we had Mr. Padgett here representing District 103 as he make his way to the ballot box. He is asking for your support. And we thank you all for your patience and for tuning in tonight just to hear a little bit more from him. While we know technology has delayed tonight's broadcast, we do thank you all for tuning in with us tonight. But we do want to give him another second or two to see if he's able to come back on before we close out tonight. But again, we do thank you all for tuning in and ask that you continue to follow our Facebook page. And if you would like to ever take a seat at the table, we ask that you reach out and do so. We would love to have you take a seat at the table to talk about the different topics that we have going on. Again, it don't always have to be about politics. It could just be about everyday life. It can be about your community involvement. It could be about your organization, your business, and whatever you would like to advertise. We would definitely like to have that conversation. So we do appreciate you all for just tuning in tonight. And I ask that you continue to follow us on social media as well. Again, we thank you all. As we close out tonight, I know we had a little bit of technical difficulties in regards to the area which Mr. Padgett was in. However, Mr. Padgett is a candidate for District 103 House seat, and he is asking for your support for those that are in Georgetown, Horry, and Berkeley County. And so if you're in that area and or know someone that is, we ask that you please make your way to the ballot box, and he is asking for your support. And so if you would continue to follow his platforms on social media, ask your question, research your candidates so that you can make an educated choice at the ballot box. But we thank you all for tuning in tonight. As we close out, we ask that you tune back in on Monday night at 7 o'clock as we take a seat at the table with our next guest. Again, thank you all for tuning in, and we bid you all a good night.